The Midnight Library. A soothing journey through the books of the soul. They say the midnight library only appears when the world is at its quietest, not in the middle of the day, when clocks are loud and footsteps rush and thoughts move too fast, and not when you're wide awake, chasing deadlines and distractions. No, it appears when everything begins to soften, when the air grows still, when the hum of the day gives way to the hush of the night. Sometimes it shows itself at the edge of a dream, other times at the edge of a field or behind a door you could have sworn was never there. You might stumble upon it without meaning to, or you might be gently led to it by something you don't quite understand. But always it finds you when you need it, even if you don't know what you're looking for. Tonight it finds you. Chapter 1. The door in the clearing. You don't remember exactly why you got out of bed. You were tired, you're sure of that, but sleep had been just out of reach, floating somewhere beyond your thoughts. So you rose quietly, careful not to disturb the stillness around you, and stepped outside into the night. The air is cool and delicate, like silk brushed across your skin. The sky above is ink blue, the stars faint and flickering, and the moon hangs low, round and full and glowing softly, like a lantern left on just for you. You breathe in slowly. The world feels quieter out here, slower. You begin to walk. There's no destination in your mind, only the gentle rhythm of your footsteps, the soft rustle of leaves, the distant song of something small and nocturnal in the trees. The further you go, the less you think about the time, about the day, about anything at all. And that's when you see them, moths, but not like the ones you've seen fluttering near porch lights. These are larger, glowing faintly with a silvery blue shimmer, their wings moving slowly, deliberately, like paper lanterns floating just above the earth. They drift in a gentle arc, forming a path, not a straight one, but a winding one, meandering, like a stream through grass. Each moth flickers with the soft pulse of moonlight, not blinding, not urgent, just inviting. You watch for a long moment, then, without a word, you follow. The path leads you past quiet houses with their curtains drawn, past trees whose branches sway as though whispering secrets to one another. You pass the old wooden fence near the edge of the meadow, where wildflowers bloom even in darkness, and you step beyond the places you've walked before. The ground is soft beneath your feet, a little damp from a forgotten rain, but warm from the day that came before. You follow the moths into a narrow trail where the trees grow close together and the sky disappears between the leaves. The wind sighs gently through the canopy above, and everything smells of earth and wood and the faint sweetness of something blooming. Soon the trail opens. You step into a small clearing, round and quiet, surrounded by tall trees that stand like guardians. Their branches arch overhead, forming a kind of shelter, a cathedral of leaves and moonlight. In the center of the clearing stands something that shouldn't be there, a door, just a door, no walls, no frame, no hinges attached to anything. It stands upright in the grass, tall and still, as though someone has taken it from another world and placed it here, waiting. Its wood is deep brown, polished smooth. Symbols are carved into it, stars, feathers, and spiral patterns that seem to shift slightly when you blink. The brass handle glints faintly, even in the low light. Moths gather around its edges, their wings beating slowly, as if in ceremony. You step forward, you don't feel afraid, only curious, only calm. Your hand reaches out almost before you think to move. Your fingertips touch the handle. It's cool, solid, real. And then the door opens. It doesn't creak. It doesn't resist. It simply swings inward on silent, invisible hinges. A warm glow spills out from within, golden, soft, full of something more than light. The scent drifts out to meet you. Old paper, lavender, a hint of something sweet and nostalgic, like toast on a rainy morning or the inside of an old book that used to be someone's favorite. You take a single step forward, and then another, and as you cross the threshold, The sounds of the forest fade behind you. The door closes softly with a click that feels more like a heartbeat than a sound. You're inside now, inside the midnight library. The room you enter is wide and glowing. The floor beneath your feet is velvet, deep green and plush, silencing your steps. Tall shelves rise up around you in every direction, towering toward a ceiling you cannot see. Books fill them, countless books, some glowing faintly, others dim and dusty, some humming ever so softly with something like a lullaby. The space is warm, not from heat, but from the feeling of being held. You pause, you listen. There's no ticking of clocks here, no footsteps, only the quiet sound of pages fluttering somewhere far above, and a gentle whisper that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. You're not lost, you're not late. You're exactly where you are meant to be. Chapter 2. The Whispering Shelves. You walk slowly, as if the library itself is teaching you how to move more gently. There is no hurry here, no need to rush. Each step feels softer than the one before, as though time has loosened its grip, uncoiled its usual tension, and settled into something more like a sigh. The shelves stretch high above, far beyond where your eyes can follow. They lean ever so slightly inward, as though they're listening to one another, or to you. Their edges glow faintly, not bright, not sharp, but soft, like candlelight through warm fabric. And the books, they whisper. It's faint at first, just the barest suggestion of sound, like the brush of a feather on glass or the echo of a memory at the back of your mind. But the closer you listen, the more you realize they are speaking to you. Not in full sentences, not aloud, but in sensations, in images, in fragments of feeling that rise gently into your thoughts. You pause beside a narrow shelf where one book leans at an angle, as if reaching toward you. Its cover is forest green, with a spiral pressed faintly into the center, a shape that seems to spin ever so slightly when you tilt your head. You run your fingers across it, and the moment you do, something stirs inside you. Not a memory exactly. Something smaller. A moment, a time you stood by a window and watched the rain, but didn't say what you were thinking. A moment when you almost reached out, almost spoke, but instead stayed quiet. And yet, here it is, in your hands. You open the book. Inside, the pages are warm. You wouldn't think pages could feel warm, but these do. The ink isn't black. It shimmers faintly, like morning dew on cobwebs. And what's written there isn't a story someone else told. It's yours. A part of you didn't realize had been written down. You read a line that makes your breath catch, not because it's painful, but because it's true. You close the book gently. You place it back, and it sighs, just a little, as it slides into place. Not a sad sigh, a relieved one. You move on. Another shelf now. This one filled with books bound in silver thread. Each one glows as you pass. One hums a tune you vaguely remember from childhood. Another opens just a little on its own, and inside you glimpse a sketch of a place you saw once in a dream. A hillside, a kite, a figure waving from very far away. You keep walking. Each shelf feels like a conversation, each book a voice from somewhere within you, patiently waiting to be heard. Some titles you recognize, not from having read them, but from having lived them. The time you spoke, even though your voice trembled. The day you let go without knowing what would come next. The kindness you gave when no one saw. You pause again, hand resting on the spine of a book with no title at all. It feels smooth, cool, familiar. You open it, and there, across the pages, are memories you didn't know were still with you. The sound of your own laughter in a quiet kitchen, a conversation on a train, a moment of silence between two people who understood each other completely. No grand events, no dramatic turns, just fragments of life, held gently, offered back to you. You find a small alcove between two shelves, a window seat cushioned in velvet and framed by soft, hanging lights. You sit for a while, just breathing, just listening. The books continue to whisper, not louder, but deeper, as if the longer you stay, the more clearly they remember you. One last book glides forward on its own. You pick it up. Inside, a single sentence. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are simply still unfolding. The words rest on the page like a lullaby. You close the book with both hands and hold it against your chest for a moment. And for the first time in a long while, you feel still. The shelves don't ask for anything in return. They do not judge. They simply accept you, as you are, as you've been, as you are becoming. After a while, you rise again. The library opens in front of you, and the whispering continues, soft and steady, like waves against the shore of your heart. Chapter 3. The Librarian with Clockwork Eyes. You walk onward, guided not by signs or footsteps, but by something quieter. A gentle pull, like a current beneath still water. The shelves gradually grow shorter now, more intimate. The walls feel curved, the space warmer, as if the library is leading you inward, not just through halls and corridors, but into something softer, something closer to the center of yourself. You notice a light ahead, golden and low. It spills from a large, circular room that feels somehow older than the rest, or perhaps just deeper. You step through the archway and find yourself inside a chamber shaped like a clock face, though there are no numbers, no ticking hands. Just tall windows draped in velvet and a high ceiling from which delicate brass pendulums hang in gentle motion. At the center of it all, a wide wooden desk. Stacks of books are arranged across it with careful disorder, some open, some bookmarked, others glowing faintly as if breathing in their sleep. There are loose pages, quills resting in pots of violet ink, and 2 steaming cups of tea. You smell cinnamon, chamomile, something floral. And behind the desk sits the librarian. They look up as you enter, and when their eyes meet yours, the world seems to pause. They are neither young nor old, neither man nor woman, or perhaps a little of both and more than either. Their robe shimmers like the surface of still water under moonlight, shifting in color from deep green to amethyst, to the soft blue of early dawn. Their face is kind, open, familiar in a way you can't quite explain. But it's their eyes that hold you, not ordinary eyes. They move, slowly, gently, as if made of tiny gears and glass, delicate pieces turning in unison. You can hear a faint ticking if you listen closely, though it doesn't sound mechanical. It sounds patient. Not the ticking of time passing, the ticking of time observing. Their smile is small and warm.
"Ah,"
they say, as if greeting an old friend.
"you've arrived right on time."
You don't speak. You don't need to. There's something in their presence that makes silence feel safe. The librarian rises from their chair and moves with a quiet grace, the kind that comes not from effort, but from having always belonged exactly where they are. They walk toward a low table near the fire, where cushions are arranged in a wide circle. Without a word, they gesture for you to sit. You do. The cushion is warm beneath you, like it's been waiting. The librarian pours tea into a cup that seems made of stardust and porcelain. The scent is gentle, something between honey and memory. They hand it to you, then sit across from you.
"The library comes when it's needed,"
they say softly, wrapping long fingers around their own cup.
"It doesn't ask why, it doesn't ask how, it simply opens its doors and waits."
You take a sip. The warmth of the tea moves through you slowly, like sunlight through fog.
"It's been some time since your last visit,"
the librarian says, their voice a whisper wrapped in velvet.
"or perhaps this is your first. I find time moves differently in the library."
They glance at the shelves beyond the chamber walls, which seem to shift and rearrange themselves as they look.
"There are books here,"
they continue,
"that hold your memories, others that carry your questions. Some are dreams you never finished, and a few are still waiting to be written."
They reach behind them and lift a small cloth-bound volume from the desk. It has no title, only a single embossed symbol, a spiral like the one you saw earlier. The librarian holds it out to you.
This one,
They say.
has been waiting a very long time.
You take it gently, as if it might dissolve in your hands. It feels both impossibly light and profoundly important.
Would you like to read it here?
The librarian asks.
Or somewhere quieter?
You look around at the golden light, the cushions, the soft clink of porcelain, the rhythmic tick of their clockwork gaze, and realize this place is already the quietest you've ever known. You nod. The librarian smiles.
Good.
They say.
Then take your time. The library is in no hurry.
And just before they turn away, you hear them say one more thing, almost beneath their breath.
Neither are you.
They return to the desk, to their tea, to a book already half read. You hold the one they gave you in your lap, and when you open the cover, a small breeze rises from the pages, like breath, like a beginning. Chapter 4, The Book of Forgotten Futures. You hold the book gently in your lap. Its cover, soft and cloth-bound, carries a warmth that isn't physical. It feels like the comfort of a voice you loved as a child, or the hush of a quiet moment you thought the world had forgotten. Your fingers rest lightly on the embossed spiral at its center. The more you look at it, the more it seems to turn, very slowly, like a whirlpool of starlight. You open the cover, and the moment you do, the room changes, not suddenly, not jarringly, but like a dream shifting shape, seamless, quiet, inevitable. The fire dims, the air stills, and in the space where the pages meet, something begins to bloom. A memory, no, something more unusual. A vision, you see a version of yourself, but not here, not now. This you is standing on a balcony, high above a city you don't recognize. A skyline lit by lanterns, canals weaving between rooftops, strange birds gliding on warm dusk winds. You're holding a letter in your hand. You look older, not aged but further along, wiser, softer. The scene flickers. Now, you're in a forest, sitting beneath a tree, with someone who rests their head against your shoulder. The two of you don't speak. You don't need to. There's a stillness between you that says more than words ever could. A dog naps nearby. A campfire crackles faintly. The sun filters through golden leaves above. Another flicker. You are painting. In a studio filled with light, your clothes smudged with color, your eyes full of something both calm and alive. Music drifts through the room, low and soft. And for a moment, just a moment, everything is exactly as it should be. The pages turn themselves slowly. Each one shows another path, a different life, a forgotten future. Not lives you missed, but lives you might have lived. You begin to understand. This book is not about what could have been instead of what is. It's about what has always existed within you waiting. The choices, the chances, the softer roads, the louder ones, the ones you never knew were possible. You feel no sadness as the pages continue to reveal themselves, only wonder. There's a version of you who became a teacher, one who sailed around the world, one who stayed, one who left, one who loved more freely, one who loved more carefully, one who never stopped writing stories in the margins of things. Each version is different, but each one is still you. The book never judges, it only offers. Each life is written in light, shifting gently as if woven from memory and possibility. And through it all, one truth begins to rise like mist through your chest. You have never been just one thing. You have always been many. Eventually, the pages grow lighter, less full of image, more full of feeling. You feel a page flutter open to a moment that hasn't happened yet. It holds no scene, no setting. Just a single line of golden script that writes itself as you read it. You are still becoming. You rest your hand on the page and close your eyes. For a long, slow breath, you feel yourself suspended between the you that was and the you that waits. The book is quiet now. You close it, and for a moment, you simply sit there, holding the weight of infinite selves in your lap, like a candle that hasn't gone out, only dimmed for a while. When you rise, the room has shifted back. The cushions, the fire, the tea, all exactly as they were. As if time stepped aside, while you remembered something sacred. You carry the book to a small pedestal by the far wall where other volumes rest. The moment you place it down, it hums, low and content, and settles into stillness. You step out of the chamber, and as the doors close behind you, something inside you remains open. Chapter 5. The Garden of Unread Stories. The hallway you return to is narrower now. The air has cooled slightly, as though the library senses your breath has deepened, your thoughts grown slower. The candles on the walls flicker more softly, their flames smaller but steadier, as if they too are easing into sleep. You walk in silence, and then, without warning, the corridor opens. Not into another room of shelves or clocks, but into something altogether different. You step through a stone archway framed in ivy and find yourself outside. But not quite. The air is fresh, laced with dew and something faintly floral. A garden stretches out before you, one that feels like it has always existed, but has rarely been seen. The sky above it is dusky violet, neither night nor day, with stars that shimmer gently in place, unmoving. The horizon glows softly, as if lit by a lantern far away. And the garden itself is alive with books. They grow like plants here. Some rise from the earth like tulips, their spines curling upward from roots of paper and thread. Others hang from tree branches like ripened fruit, covers fluttering open when the breeze passes. Vines stretch across arched trellises, weaving together stories in progress, half-bloomed and waiting. You walk slowly between rows of glowing foliage, your hand brushing the edges of a crimson-bound book sprouting from a bed of moss. It leans toward you. You open it. Inside, a single sentence unfolds. She almost said what she meant, but smiled instead. The words fade as soon as you read them, dissolving like mist, but the feeling remains, a quiet ache, not heavy, just human. Another book opens at your feet, this one shaped like a bluebell, its petals forming pages. He turned around at the last moment, but the train had already gone. Not all stories are finished. Some never even began. That's what this place is, a resting place for all the stories never written down, the ones imagined in passing, the ones whispered silently to no one, the ones you never believed you had the right to tell. They're all here, and they are beautiful. You continue along a stone path lined with lanterns shaped like bookmarks, their soft glow guiding you deeper into the garden. You notice now that the books make sounds, not loud, not clear, but murmurs, like conversations half remembered. Some giggle gently, others humming. A few emit a faint sigh, like dreams exhaled after being held in too long. You sit on a low bench nestled beneath a tree of silver leaves. Its branches are full of tiny leather-bound volumes, each one swaying slightly in the still air. One drops into your lap. You open it slowly. The story inside is familiar, too familiar. It's something you once imagined as a child, a tale you made up for yourself when you couldn't fall asleep. You'd forgotten all about it, or so you thought, but here it is, not forgotten, just waiting. Your hands tremble a little as you hold the book close to your chest. The tree above you shivers gently, as if in approval, and for a long time you sit in the hush of unread stories. There is no pressure here, no urgency. The garden does not ask you to finish anything. It only invites you to remember that even the quietest story matters. Even the stories that never reached paper still shaped you. Even the ones you were afraid to tell deserve a place. Eventually you rise. The path behind you has changed again, as it always does in this place, and now it winds gently back toward the warm, golden corridors of the library. You walk slowly. One last book rests beside the gate. Its cover is blank. Inside, just one sentence. One day, you will write the story only you can tell. You smile, and as you step back through the archway, the garden behind you begins to dim, not vanish, just fold gently into stillness, content to rest again until the next visitor arrives. You carry its quiet with you, like a secret, like a seed. Chapter 6. The Storm-Torn Page. The hall you return to now feels subtly changed. Not colder, not darker, just more still. The air is heavier with memory, as if the library knows you are ready to hold something more delicate. The books here are quieter, less eager to speak, as though they carry older stories with more silence in between the lines. You follow a soft curve in the corridor and come upon a wooden door, narrower than the others, made from dark timber that glistens slightly in the light. Its handle is worn smooth, as though it has been touched 1,000 times by hesitant hands. There is no plaque, no label, only a small symbol carved at eye level, a swirl of wind and rain, and a single droplet at its center. You open the door slowly. The room inside is small and round, with a high domed ceiling that fades into shadow. The light is dimmer here, blue-grey like a sky just before a storm. And the air smells different, like old wood, damp stone, and something bittersweet. The scent of a memory you're not sure you want to revisit, but need to. In the middle of the room stands a table, and on that table, a single book. It's not pristine like the others. This one is weathered. The cover is torn at the corners. The pages are slightly curled, as though they were once soaked through and dried in the sun. A deep blue ribbon marks a place in the middle, its edges frayed. A faint trace of silver threads the cracks of its spine, like lightning stitched into old leather. You approach slowly. There's a heaviness in your chest, not fear, just knowing. You reach out, and the moment your fingertips graze the cover, a low sound hums through the room, like distant thunder, like a deep breath held for years. You open to the marked page. The ink has run in places, smudged by some long-past rain. But a sentence remains, just one, written in handwriting you don't quite recognize, and yet it feels like your own. If only... The words trail off. No explanation, no continuation. Just a pause, open, aching, endless. You sit on the edge of a nearby bench carved from pale stone. It's cool beneath you, grounding. You let the book rest in your lap, open to that fragile page. And then it begins. Not a story. Not exactly. A moment, a memory that isn't quite memory. A moment you almost changed. Something you almost said. A door you didn't open. A goodbye that came too soon. Or not at all. Whatever it is, it rises gently now. Not to accuse, not to scold. Just to be seen. You feel it settle across your shoulders like a quiet rain. The room darkens slightly, and the sound of distant wind swirls in from nowhere. You hear the flap of a window left ajar in some other time, the soft patter of raindrops against a roof you once sat beneath, waiting for something to pass. You close your eyes, and for a while you let yourself feel it, not as punishment, as permission, to grieve what didn't happen, to forgive what couldn't, to hold the weight of a story that never turned out the way you'd hoped, and still deserves a page. When you open your eyes, the book has changed. Where once there was only that single sentence, now there are more lines. They've appeared slowly, as though the paper itself has remembered. Not alternate endings, just reflections. Not what you should have done, just a gentler way of seeing what you did. You turn one more page, and it's blank, not waiting to be filled, just ready. You close the book softly, reverently. You return it to the center of the table, and as you do, a single drop of water or ink rolls across the cover and disappears. The room brightens, barely. The air lightens. The thunder is gone. Only silence remains now, soft, steady, like a sigh after the rain. You step outside and close the door behind you, and as it clicks shut, something deep within you settles. Not because the storm is forgotten, but because it has passed. Chapter 7. The Hourglass Room. You walk onward, and with each step, the air becomes calmer, like the world around you has exhaled and now waits in peaceful silence. The halls have grown more spacious here. The shelves retreat. The books are fewer. The glow from the candles is softer, more golden now, like sunlight filtered through linen curtains on a slow afternoon. You find yourself before a door that looks older than the rest. Its wood is smooth and pale, veined like marble. Carved into its centre is a symbol you've seen before, a spiral wrapped around a sand-filled hourglass. A small sign beside it reads, "The Hourglass Room." You open the door, and time pauses, not in a way that feels strange or sudden, but in a way that feels natural, as though time itself is sleeping here, curled up in a warm corner, content to let you move through its dream. The room is round and silent. At its centre stands a large circular table made of stone and oak, its surface covered with hourglasses of every shape and size. Some are tall and slender, others short and wide. The sand inside them is not just white or gold, but silver, amethyst, smoky grey, even translucent like starlight. They move differently, some fast, some impossibly slow, and one, directly in front of you, begins to glow faintly. You step closer. The hourglass has your name on it, not written in ink or etched in glass, but felt. You know it's yours, as surely as your heartbeat, as surely as your breath. The sand inside flows in a slow, steady stream. You watch as it drifts downward, not in urgency, but in rhythm, in peace. You sit before it, and as you do, your own breath slows to match its pace, in and out. The room is utterly still, and yet alive. A warmth spreads through your limbs, not heat, but presence, a return, a soft reunion with your body, your breath, your now. You begin to notice more hourglasses nearby, some nearly full, some nearly empty, others resting motionless as if waiting to begin again. Each one holds time for a story, a season, a moment someone once held close. You run your finger gently along the rim of your own, and something flickers in the air. Not a sound, not a voice, but a memory. A small, simple moment from long ago. A conversation in a hallway, a laugh at the edge of a river, a quiet morning when the light hit your wall just right, and you felt safe for no reason at all. It returns to you, full and vivid. The air hums softly, and the hourglass seems to glow a little brighter. Another memory comes, not grand, but tender. The feeling of someone holding your hand, the scent of something baking, the first time you looked in the mirror and saw something you liked. Time, it seems, is not always measured in days or years. Sometimes it's measured in heartbeats, in moments you forgot to count, but never truly lost. You sit with these memories for a long while, letting them rise and fall, not grasping, not analyzing, just allowing. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to fix or finish. You are here, and that is enough. Eventually you stand. The hourglass continues its slow rhythm, steady and sure. And as you turn to leave, you feel it, that sense of time not slipping away, but carrying you forward, not fast, not slow, just right. You leave the hourglass room with a quiet you didn't know you were missing, a gentle reminder that there's no need to chase time, nor fear it. It will hold you if you let it. Chapter 8. The final chapter writes itself. You step softly from the hourglass room. The air that greets you feels lighter, as if something once clenched has loosened. The halls stretch forward like quiet rivers of light, leading you not toward discovery now, but toward return, toward rest. You walk without urgency. The library no longer feels vast or unfamiliar. It feels like part of you now, like a place that's always been here, quietly waiting behind the noise of everyday life. A hidden room inside your heart. You round a final corner, and a doorway opens just ahead. This one is different. It doesn't glow. It doesn't hum. It simply waits. You step through. And inside is a small, softly lit room, circular like a cocoon. A single writing desk rests near a tall, arched window. The glass is slightly fogged, but through it you can see the stars outside, fixed in place, unblinking. A breeze moves the curtain gently, and the room smells faintly of ink, paper, and lavender. On the desk sits a blank book. Its cover is pale, ivory and smooth, untouched, unmarked. except for a small embossed symbol in the lower corner, a spiral surrounded by a circle of tiny stars. Beside the book lies a pen. You don't reach for it right away. Instead, you sit in the wooden chair, which rocks slightly under your weight, like it remembers someone sitting here long ago. The air around you is warm, still. You breathe in, you breathe out. And then, your hand moves. You pick up the pen. You open the book. The pages are soft and luminous, like they've been waiting a very long time, not to be filled with perfection or purpose, but simply to be held. You don't begin with a grand sentence. In fact, you don't write anything at all. The pen hovers, and slowly the book begins to write itself. You watch as lines of text unfold across the page in a script that looks familiar, though you don't remember learning it. The letters glow softly, forming phrases drawn from somewhere deeper than memory. You read,
"This is your story, not the one others imagined, not the one you tried to edit, but the one that has always been yours."
Another line appears.
"Here is your laughter and your fear, your softness and your strength. All of it belongs."
And then, without prompting, another page turns. Your name is not written, but your presence fills every space between the words. The book writes, in rhythm with your breath. Each page a reflection of something you've lived, something you've loved, something you've survived. There are no chapters here, just flow. One page holds the memory of your favorite place. Another, the sound of a voice you miss. One page is blank except for a single fingerprint pressed into the paper, your own. Eventually the page is slow. The final spread is empty. You place the pen down, not because the story is over, but because you understand now. There is no need to finish. This story does not need an ending. It is enough that it exists. You close the book gently, and when you do, the candle on the desk dims to a quiet flicker. You return the book to the shelf behind you. As you slide it into place, the spine glows softly. Not bright, not attention-seeking. Just present. It will wait here, if ever you wish to return. You rise from the chair. You walk toward the door. The curtain lifts slightly in the breeze, and for a brief moment the stars outside seem to twinkle just for you. A hush settles in the room as you leave. The final chapter hasn't ended. It's only paused, like a breath, a heartbeat, a promise. Epilogue. The library fades with the dawn. You step back into the corridor. The air is different now, lighter, softer. A hush has settled over the shelves, like a warm blanket pulled across the shoulders of a dreaming world. The books still glow, but gently, like embers near the end of a long, comforting fire. You walk without thinking, not because you're lost, but because you no longer need to know the way. The library guides your steps now, or perhaps you've always known how to return to where you began. The walls widen, the ceilings lower, the space begins to fold in around you, not closing, but settling, as if it too is ready to sleep. You reach the grand front hall once more, and the tall wooden door now stands ajar. Outside, the sky is beginning to change. It's not bright yet, not fully, but the black of night has softened into deep blue, and the stars are beginning to blur, as though someone is gently erasing them with a brush dipped in light. The moon is fading, and just along the horizon, the first glow of dawn begins to bloom, the faintest blush of warmth rising over a sleeping world. The librarian is there, standing beside the door. Their clockwork eyes move slowly now, their soft golden gears ticking in gentle rhythm. They offer you a look, not a farewell, but a knowing, a smile that says, "You have what you came for." Even if you don't yet understand it, no words are exchanged. They are not needed. You step forward. The door creaks open wider, and cool morning air drifts in, clean and quiet and full of promise. You take one last look at the shelves, the lanterns, the stories still whispering to one another in the silence behind you. And then you step outside. The world greets you with mist and dew. The trees glisten. The grass feels soft beneath your feet. Birds are beginning to stir in the hedgerows. The sky shifts slowly from blue to pearl. You pause, you turn, but the door is gone. No sound, no flash, just gone, as though it had never been there at all. And yet, you carry it in your chest, in your breath, in the space between thoughts. The library has faded, but it has not left you. You walk forward now, back into your own story, not changed, not rewritten, but remembered. And as the day begins, you carry with you the hush of ancient pages, the softness of stories still unfolding, the quiet magic of a place that knows how to wait, and somewhere, far beyond what the eye can see. The midnight library sleeps once more, until you are ready to return.